and beyond. Let me go ahead and share my display. You can see BTC here is under pressure. Okay, major pressure for BTC. Technicals are reading sell, and it's a bloodbath on the entire markets. I've been getting DMs asking me, champ, are you still holding? Have you sold? What are you doing? And as I responded in the Discord, I haven't sold any of my positions. Maybe I should have, but you know, I look at this dip as a universal dip that's following Bitcoin. It's not specific to any coin. So I'm decided to hold my position, take my seat, go on for the ride, and let's see how it all pans out. Now, you know, I'm down. I'm down. I shared a meme today in the Discord, and check this one out. I said, who could relate? You got this guy trying to climb up a icy slope and keeps slipping. He keeps slipping. But yeah, join the Discord. We can share some memes over there, and I can let you guys know more details into the strategies that I'm taking a part of. Shout out to Sten the Man. He says, holding in the trenches, champ. Indeed, you know, I said this earlier in the Discord. Let me repeat it. I wrote it somewhere. And it says, the dip reminds us how important it is to buy the right size position. Big enough to make it worth it, but not too large that you get wrecked if the market dips. And that's kind of what I'm learning more and more. You know, as we continue to mature. We've been in here for years, but, you know, there's always room to learn more. And that's, you know, instead of trying to dance and prance and jump in and jump out and jump in and jump out, there is a cost between, you know, moving and shuffling your seats, you know, playing musical chairs. I've said this several times. Identify the projects that you are semi-bullish on, or the ones that you like, and go for it. You know, find the right size position, not too big, not too small. So if the market dips, you can hodl through and perhaps maybe add to your position. Okay. You know, you just want to make sure it's the right size. Okay. Because sometimes, you know, you get excited about a project and it's starting to go good. And then so you get overextended. And then on the other hand, sometimes, you know, you don't buy enough because, you know, you're limping in. So it's trying to find that right combination. And that combo is different for everybody. That combo is different for everybody because everyone has a different size bag, has a different size, different goal in mind, you know, a different risk tolerance. They're running at a different speed. So you got to find that right size for you. Okay. But normally I would say that, you know, with positions, single positions, you probably don't want to dump more than like 10 or 15 or, you know, 10 to 20% in one position. Because if you get clapped in that position, you would still have over half of your bag to play with. Now, if you go in half of your bag, you ape in half of your bag, you know. Now, I understand for people with smaller bags, you know, let's say your bag is only 1 ETH, you know what I mean? Like, do you really want to start breaking things up? Probably you can't because the gas fees are too high. So you got to go more aggressive. But as you grow your crypto portfolio, it's important to not only try to make gains, but also to preserve them. Okay. You know, we're not only here to make gains, but we want to preserve gains. And as I've said before, we're trying to not trying to get rich quick. We're trying to get rich for sure. There's a big difference. Speed is good, but I want guaranteed. So, you know, we'll continue to identify the potential boomers out here. Shout out to Sten. Shout out to Ernestina. Shout out to Free to Think. Hi, champ. You see the 2 different DeFi hacks in the last GameFi. We just talked about that, the stable coins. And, you know, as far as like, you know, bear market strategy, another thing, you know, I was thinking about is how important it is to have the blue chip assets, not just single assets like Bitcoin and ETH, but blue chip LP assets. Okay. Like for instance, if you had ETH USDC LPs, you don't really need to worry about the dips because it automatically rebalances itself. You know, you're investing 50-50 into the US dollar and to ETH. So you're half and half. And then you could just shop around that LP and see what, you know, pays you the best rewards. Okay, so, you know, I would say a sound strategy for a whale is to have those blue chip assets that you can hold no matter what. Obviously, you know, ETH against USDC. Okay, then the straight up stable coin pairs, you know, that I just showed you, you know, DC against DT, or, you know, the 3 pool there with MIM, Terra, and DC. You can have that. And then there's another one to be said, you know, you could just do Bitcoin ETH, you know, pair the 2 top dogs and go for the ride. You know, those are the three main strategies, I would say: Bitcoin ETH LPs, ETH USDC LPs, and then the stablecoin LPs. Those are blue chip LP assets that, I mean, they're going to hold their value no matter if things go up or down. Because if you're in ETH USDC LP, you know, ETH takes a hit like it just did this weekend. Your hit is 50%, only 50% of the hit, because the other half gets absorbed by the stable coin. So in a sense, it's a benefit to have impermanent loss there. And we could talk more about impermanent loss and all these things. I'm going to do another video on that. But drop some comments and some questions, guys. I think I covered most of the beats today. Shout out to Harvey Williams. He says, good point. I don't even know what I just said, but, you know, caught the stream late. Do you think we've entered a bear market now? No, I don't. I said this earlier in the stream, and I mentioned this in our Discord either yesterday or this morning. Let me see what I wrote. Yeah, dip was universal, not specific to any project, so I'm still bullish in the macro perspective. If anything, the dip reminds us of how important it is to buy the right size position. Big enough to make it worth it, but not too large that you get wrecked if the market dips. So trying to find that right size for you. You know, when you take a bite on a project, on a new play, you also got to ask yourself, what's the right size? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and also if you're going to do it in Ethereum, you have to do a minimum of half an ETH to make it worth your gas fees. So, you know, it's finding the right size. So like, for instance, you know, I think I found the right size for the position that I took on Neo Tokyo Bytes, the one that's for me. It was a little less than an ETH. It's about an ETH. I got in around 150. It shot up to 200. I should have maybe took some profits, but I'm hanging around being curious to see what happens with the project. Ultimately, the rumors didn't pull through on Sunday, so the token dumped. I don't know what the price is, but I'm sure it's under 150. But like I said, I think I took the right size position because you know, even though I'm down, it's not impacting my portfolio. It's not like, you know, it's the right size for me. You know what I mean? Now, if I would have gone 2 ETH, 3 ETH, then it would have started hurting a little more. And again, you know, that's the right size for me. For other people, the right size could have been another, you know, amount. But just trying to find that size, you know, like I've said before, take your seat. Stop playing musical chairs. Like if you're into a project, then, you know, take your seat and go for the ride. You know, unless your plan is to just do a quick swing trade, which, you know, that can work as well. You know, but you should know that going into the play. If your plan is to do a swing trade, you should know that before you buy. In my opinion, IMO. The whole channel's IMO. I mean, good point on investing LPs holding ETH USDC or ETH Bitcoin, which auto rebalances in spite of price fluctuations. Yeah, it's what whales do. Yeah, and like, you know, the APRs are not going to be, you know, degen APRs, but you could sleep at night with USDC ETH because automatically it's rebalancing. So, you know, half of your investment is in stable and half is in ETH. There's nothing to do. You know, it's just, you know, you're basically doing 50-50. So, you know, I like that. Now, do I think that's the best strategy? No, because I'm more bullish on ETH than I am on stable coins. In fact, I think that ETH is going to outperform stables. So, you know, I wouldn't have that as my main position because I feel like you would, you know, suffer some impermanent loss. But there is a strategy to holding these stable, you know, these LPs that include stables.